Hey everybody, here we are. We are back on a Wednesday, and you hear the music. Yes, it's time now for our Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Joining us in the studio, realty expert John Brodeen, and we'll be back with John right after this.
Look, if home feels too big, let's get you a smaller one. And it's okay if the process seems daunting or you're having a hard time letting go. Because our network agents have the expertise to help you downsize and get you to just the right size. Look, if home feels too big, let's get you.
Hey, all right, there we go. 1.5 commercials from Berkshire Hathaway today. That's great. John Brodeen, realty expert, Berkshire Hathaway. How are you, man?
I'm awesome. Yeah. How about you guys?
Good. Somebody punch you in the nose?
It got busted back open on Saturday.
Oh.
Saturday's the MMA practice day, and it was a rough day.
Your wife gets sick of you coming home all beat up?
She's used to it now. Yeah. I mean, I'm not happy about it either, but yeah, so it happens though. It was a fun day. It was, yeah.
Make the eyes water a little bit.
Yes, it was just me and then two of the best MMA guys in the gym, and it was just the three of us. Normally the MMA practice is a lot bigger, so it was just, yeah.
So you decided to take them both on, or what?
Not at the same time. They don't even need to do that. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see you're in one place, and you still look all right, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Things that we'll talk about on this first podcast this week. When you're trying to sell your house, there's a lot of things to do. I mean, we've had you realty experts on here time and time again, things that you should do to prepare your house or your home for sale. But I'm guessing, what you call that staging, there's got to be a lot of things that get overlooked.
Yeah. So, and it's a lot more comprehensive than just staging. It's cleaning, it's repairs, it's sometimes even like really light renovations. Depending, it's almost like for every little category of preparing your home, there's like the bare minimum that you have to do if you want to try to, get a decent result. And then there's kind of like the extra credit, and then if you really want to go the extra mile, there's, you can go pretty far with things. And it's often, especially when you get into, like going the extra mile, when we're talking about, changing paint colors and replacing carpet and, bigger repairs, it's really on a case by case basis. So there's no like hard and fast rules on that stuff. But yeah, if you want to try to get your home sold and especially get top dollar, you really have to put some effort into preparing your home. This means outside, the yard, the landscaping, the decor as you walk up the front steps, cleaning really thoroughly inside and out. I mean, that's like a bare minimum. There's no reason why the whole inside and outside of the house shouldn't be perfectly clean. That's something you have to maintain, whether you hire it out, do it yourself. That's a bare minimum. One of the things, so how we're always telling people to declutter and you have to pare down a lot of your belongings and that sort of thing. So storage is going to be an issue. And so what I always tell people is have a storage plan. So if you have let's say you've got a room, you got a split level house, you've got a room beneath your entryway underneath your stairs that you can fill up with stuff, and it's not going to take away from how the home shows. Or you've got a, part of your utility room that's unfinished that you can use for storage. Or, a step behind that is maybe your garage. And if you really have nowhere to put it, get a storage unit, because you're going to need a place to put all this stuff when you declutter.
Sure. And I would imagine, that is your place under the stairs that you jam pack full of stuff. But if you're trying to show your house, you can't really see how big it is and how much storage you're getting, and the same with your garage.
Yeah. And like, if you're really trying to, when you're trying to get top dollar, you're trying to go, into that extra credit stage. One thing that's overlooked, we always have people, let's say in your kitchen, you want to clear off as much stuff off your countertops as possible. Leave out, if you got a fancy espresso maker and a KitchenAid mixer, you can leave some of those nice looking things out, but you don't want all of your countertop space covered with stuff.
Oh, sure.
And so then people have to find a place to put it. You also don't want your pantry and your cabinets and closets and linen closets, coat closets, bedroom closets. You don't want your storage like overflowing, because The whole idea with like staging a home is you want to set a scene that the buyer wants to see themselves living in. So you want to set a scene, you know, that's where they're going to live their perfect life. You want it to be, you know, luxurious, stress-free, serene. So part of that is having organized storage. So a lot of times, like in the kitchen, this is a chance to get some serious organizing done. Because you're going to take stuff off. You're going to need more space to store stuff because you're not going to be keeping it on your countertops. You know, we want to show off the countertops, show off the backsplash. So we don't want that cluttered. A lot of times it involves removing a lot of your stuff. So if you've got a set of dishes that you never use, that's something that you want to pack away for your move. And, you know, kitchen appliances, small kitchen appliances that you never use, pack those away. Anybody would be surprised if they go through their pantry at how much expired food they have. This is your time to go through all that stuff, throw away all your expired food. If there's stuff that you never use and it's ugly and you never see yourself using it again, it's the perfect opportunity to donate a whole bunch of stuff. And this will also make things easier when you make your move, because then you're not moving all this junk that's just going to take up space in your new home. So you want that kitchen organization to be there. If somebody opens your pantry, you don't want it to spill out onto them, because remember, we want to set a peaceful, serene setting. That is going to stress buyers out, and they don't want anything to do with that. You don't want buyers to think of any of the stressful aspects of a home.
Right.
You know, a dirty home, that's you know, stress a person out. A cluttered, disorganized home, that'll also stress them out. The more like satisfying it looks, like if they open that pantry and everything's labeled and it's in, you know, modular nice containers, and you look at it and it's like, oh, that's amazing.
And you know, I would imagine, and now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the boss of the family, when you're looking to buy a new house, we know who the boss is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the kitchen is got to be, you know, perfect.
Yep.
And I would imagine, and again, I don't know if this happens or not, but I'm sure the ladies in the family are looking at that kind of stuff. The guys are looking at the garage and whatever. But remember who's making the call on this, the overall call, and things got to be looking good, because you know it's the lady in the house, usually, not in all cases, is going to be looking for that stuff.
And whoever does the cooking, you know, sometimes you see roles reversed or whatever, but whoever does the cooking is going to care about this stuff, and that's also where you're going to be doing your entertaining. And, you know, so part of the reason a lot of people move is because they're running out of room.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the first things where you run out of room is your storage. And so I see houses all the time where they've got it looking completely perfect, and then you open a closet door and just
it all falls out.
Yeah, and that kind of makes it look like your house doesn't have adequate storage, even if it does.
Right.
Maybe you just have a ton of stuff. So aiming to eliminate like 1/3 of the stuff in your kitchen storage is going to be a good bet. You know, one of the things, there's a few things that people, you know, a few common mistakes that people make. You know, it's obviously overflowing. So you want to throw away that expired food, like I mentioned, donate the extra dishes, cookware, small appliances, show off plenty of extra storage space in those cabinets and pantry. The vertical space in your kitchen cabinets. So if you have a lot of stuff that sits at the bottom, maybe it's not even that tall, bags of food and stuff are major culprits for this. Utilize that vertical storage. So a nice thing you can do is buy a shelf that fits in there. Like, let's say you store your coffee mugs below, and then you can store stuff above it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you just have coffee mugs taking up the bottom third of that vertical space, and you're wasting the space above it. If you're trying to create more space, these are some of the things you can do. I've gotten a lot of these ideas from Colleen Ashe. She's got Colleen's Kitchen and Closet Organization. So if you guys want a professional to come in and do this, highly recommend her. She's like a genius with this stuff.
There's your plug, Colleen.
Yes, there you go.
Now, should somebody, you know, we all know what home inspections are, but would you recommend, like, if I'm thinking about selling my house, should I kind of do my own home inspection to decide what needs to be done, what needs to be painted, cleaned, all of the above? Or do they just get a hold of you? I mean, I know there's a lot of things, a lot of information in the Guide to Selling Your Home from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, but just get a hold of you is probably the
Yeah.
easiest way, because there's a lot of things people don't realize that should be done.
Yeah, and I've got handouts on every single one of these topics for them to take with them, so they don't have to be taking notes while in there. So yes, have me come in, because there might be something they're overlooking when they do their own little analysis of how well their home is staged, that I can give them pointers on. And this is something we're going to address before photos, like obviously the cabinets and pantries and stuff. That might not be as critical to get done before photos, but it has to be done before showing.
Sure.
If you're going to do it. You know, so some of the other things, like taking dry goods out. Dry goods really take up a lot of space, especially when they're in bags and stuff. Wasted space. Putting them in like modular containers that are stackable.
Sure.
To utilize that vertical space. You know, using turntables works really
Oh,
well.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
another one I got from Colleen. So in like bedroom and linen closets and stuff, try to pare those down so they're not overstuffed. You know, whether that means packing stuff up. This is your chance to pack stuff up. Do this in all your closets, and removing a third of your items in a full closet or bathroom vanity, all that kind of stuff. The more organized you can have it, using like plastic baskets to organize stuff so you can't see just a bunch of junk sitting there. You can see these nicely like labeled white plastic baskets. All this kind of stuff is going to bring that buyer peace of mind, because they're going to think, if I move into this house, I'm going to live a luxurious, organized, clean life. Even if they're not going to,
Right.
they see the way that this house is, and that's the lifestyle you're selling.
Now, you mentioned turntables. Is that the politically correct way to say Lazy Susan now?
Yeah, well, and I might be wrong on this, but isn't a Lazy Susan like in a quarter cabinet?
Yeah, usually,
Okay.
and it's got the turntable in it.
Yes.
And they've just always been called Lazy Susans, and I was wondering when somebody was going to get offended about that.
Maybe, because if you look them up on Amazon, they're if you find the ones that you set down in your cabinet, like the freestanding ones that
Yep.
spin, they call them turntables or Lazy Susans, whatever it is.
Sure.
It's like spice cabinets. You know, there's a lot of things that if it's hard to reach, or if it's a cluttered cabinet, having it organized on that will help you out, even if you're not selling your home. That's more just a organization tip,
Sure.
not as much for selling. But having, like, that's sometimes the missing piece. A person can have their home looking like a perfect model home, and then the buyer realizes that all their stuff is just packed into closets, so that everything looks great except the storage. It looks like there's not enough storage in the house, and it looks like the storage is not well organized. If you're really trying to go the extra mile and you want everything to seem perfect, and you're trying to set that new neighborhood record, this is something that's really going to help you out. It's
Well, you know, storage, you know, and you kind of hit on it. A lot of people just throw their stuff in there, you know, in their closets or whatever they've got, their garage. But then the people that come to look at the house, they have already got in their mind how much storage they need.
Yes.
And yeah, and if you're, you know, the little room under the stairs is full, well, it's going to look way smaller than it probably is. So,
Yep.
you know, there's just a ton of things people don't think about when they're getting ready to stage their home.
Yeah, maybe that pantry is huge. Maybe that linen closet goes way back. You know, maybe that bathroom closet is super deep, but you can't tell because the thing's overflowing. So if you're trying to get every little aspect of selling the perfect life down, this is a big part of it, and this is probably the step when people try to go the extra mile. This is the most commonly missed step.
Okay. Okay. How does somebody get a hold of realty expert John Brodeen?
701-213-5428. That's myself. Follow my business page on Facebook, John Brodeen, Berkshire Hathaway Realtor. And yeah, I post monthly market updates, lots of educational stuff for buyers and sellers to gives them a chance to get to know me a little bit better. So
You going to be back on Friday?
yes, I'll be back on Friday.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
There you go. John Brodeen, realty expert from Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. There you go. Podcast 1. We got another one Friday. And you know, when John was talking about, you know, your pantries and your closets and things like that, you know what? If you're getting ready to sell your house and you need these things fixed up a little bit, get a hold of Executive Properties. They can get it done for you, and they'll do it right. They do everything from kitchens to bathrooms, doors, siding, concrete, cabinets, trim and tile. You get the picture. They've got about 35 years of experience, probably more. They can definitely take care of you. Get a hold of them, Executive Properties. Their phone number is 701-330-1273, or go to executiveproperties.org. Until Friday, there you go. It's your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast on GFBS.